So I remember expressing, you know, information about past relationships on here on my channel. And after that, I saw, some comments about myself on social media that really made me think. And the comments were saying pretty much that you attract what you are. If you're unstable, you attract unstable people. If you're crazy, you attract crazy people. If you're pretty much if you're no good, you attract no good people. And this is something I've heard not really directed to me my entire life, but just in general. People say you attract what you are, and I believed it. I honestly did. But then I started changing who I am. I started growing up. I started maturing. I started making steps to getting to become a better Renee. And I still ended up dating crazy people. And I said, you know what, this can't be true. This can't be it. Because I know the type of person that I am, the woman that I have become, the things that I stand for, and it still doesn't, it's not adding up. This isn't adding up. So now I'm here to say that no, I don't believe that you attract what you are anymore. What I believe is that you attract what you need to get to where you need to be. And that's just like a mouthful. But honestly, I don't think, had I never gone through some of the hardships that I have, some of the crazy situations that I have, some of the upsetting moments that I have, that I would be the woman that I am today. I don't believe that I would be this woman who was so ready for love and open to it and willing to be vulnerable and expressive and caring and loving of another person had I never gone through those hardships. And I know that's crazy because it's like the more you go through, the more closed you become. But the love that I want is a love that requires vulnerability. It requires me to continue to put myself out there. It requires me to just be open and willing and trust someone else with my heart. Because for me, if it's not like this exceptional love, then I don't want it. If it's just mundane, we're just going through the motions, then I don't want it. So I knew that in order for me to get to where I needed to be, that I needed to clean myself up. I needed to clean my heart. I needed to forgive. I needed to start unpacking the baggage that I have carried for so long and kind of get through my brokenness. And it's okay to be broken. Everyone's broken, and that's the problem. That's the problem with dating, is that everyone is broken. It's like a cycle. I hurt you, you hurt me, we both go hurt someone else. The cycle continues. And it's really sad because I look at like my grandparents who have been in love forever and ever and ever. And I hear people say all the time, that's what I want. If I can't have him, someone exactly like him, then I don't want it. And I just be like, you might did, because we all see the transition. We all see the loving, 80-something-year-old. But I'm pretty sure that 20-something-year-old, gave grandma a couple gray hairs, and that's okay. But what I'm trying to say is, they got through it. They worked together. They didn't just up and leave. They stayed and got through it and got across to this place of just eternal friendship, and like it's just the most beautiful thing in the entire world. I just love watching them, and that's what I want. I want that with another person. So I had to clean myself up and stop listening to what other people say, because I'll never believe that I'm A, B, and C, because I know what I am. And there's people out there every day who are just being spoken down to and disrespected, especially from people who have hurt them. So, I've had people tell me that I'm never going to be nothing, that no one's ever going to want me, that I have these children by these different men and no one's ever going to love me. And I just look at them like, okay, because I know that that's not true. You know, I know that that's not my story and that never will be, and that's not who I am. But if someone could say that to me, then I know it's someone saying that and disrespecting and dishonoring so many other women out there simply because we refuse to settle. I wasn't willing to settle. Never. I was willing to be by myself and to just be me and my kids, and I just be a grandma one day and love them babies, but I was okay with it just being me. And the moment that I said, I'm cool. I think I'm done. I think I'm done dating. Like I put myself out there, and I've been vulnerable, and I've just really wore my heart on my sleeve trying to care about other people, and it never turns out right. Never. Like I had someone just leave one day, or just be like, you scare me so bad because you're such an amazing woman that I gotta go. And I was like, what? Are you serious? Yeah. Yeah, I can't handle this. I can't handle all of this goodness. I can't allow myself to be vulnerable and honestly care about another person to that degree. So, yeah. I can't do with you no more. And I was like, wow. Okay. And after that, I was like, yeah, I'm done dating. I'm done trying. I'm done like doing any of that because this does not make sense to me. I don't understand. But then, the moment I was like, well, whatever, I'm done. I'm over it. Then it happens, and it's cute and it's good, and you're happy, and you never realize how much you grew from when you first started dating in life to now. And it's nice. It's a nice feeling to be on the other side of happy. But there is a lot of baggage, and there is a lot of. Dylan! You way too loud. You're way too loud.
Okay.
Goodbye. So it's nice to be on the other side of happy, but it takes being vulnerable. It takes putting yourself out there. It takes, picking up that baggage from you and him picking up his baggage, and you guys unpacking it together and caring enough about the other person that you're like, okay, this is what I come with. I'm broken. Have these insecurities. These will come out, and, this is what, you're faced with. And for them to be like, okay, but I love you anyway. It's fine. It's fine what people did to you. It's fine, the things that you had to get through to be where you are, because I got you. And that's nice. So the problem with dating for me, though, was that expectation was expected from people who were incapable of giving it. So for me to be vulnerable, because that's just always how I've been, I just choose to love, and I choose to care, and if it's not there, then it's just not there. But if it's not there, then I'm not there either. So for me to be just open and honest and with a person, and they not be there mentally, emotionally, physically, their mindset, they're still very young-minded, and it's fine to be young-minded. I mean, I'm still young, but I'm talking about playing the games and doing, having 3, 4, 5, 7 different girls, and having all these friends that you sleep with in between girlfriends, so they really don't know their place, and having mom issues to where you can't even respect a woman, or you can't express love, like things like that. Like, so being open and vulnerable with those people is what creates brokenness, is what creates baggage. It's what you begin to deflect everything, because people say you are what you attract. So you see this person who's incapable of loving, and you say, well, wow, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Because I'm attracted to this person. They are incapable of loving. So how how am I? Am I just incapable of being loved? Am I incapable of loving another person? Am I, that bad of a person? Or it's so easy to leave? Like, do you see all these things that women and men do to themselves because it's a cycle, because we're taught that people do things to us because of something that we've done, because we're taught that you attract the person that mirrors who you are. So if this person is bad, if this person is toxic, then it has to be me too. I have to be. What's wrong with me? And I mean, that is good and bad, because that has made me look at myself internally a lot a lot, and figure out what I need to do. Like, I never used to cook. I didn't, like, I just couldn't cook. My mom didn't really cook growing up, and my grandmother cooked, but I was always just in there eating. And I was very, very insecure about cooking. Very, like, to the point of tears. Like, I would not cook for anyone. And I've cried over meals a couple times because a woman's supposed to cook. So during my time of being single and by myself, my poor kids were just guinea pigs. But you look in yourself and say, okay, this is something I need to do. And me, Pinterest and Food Network, and baby, no, all I watch is the Food Network for real. And I can cook now, like a little bit here, a little bit there, this and that. I got it, and I'm not afraid to say if this is the first time that I've made something. But now I'm understanding the spices and the techniques and things, how to make meatballs, and that I need a little bread, need something to stick it together. I am learning those things. That is now something that I can say I can cook. Whereas before, I couldn't, Patience. We were sitting on so we have a Fire Stick, and we were like watching the movie the other day, and the movie just kept messing up. Like, my internet has been crazy like last couple weeks. I called and cussed them out. Well, I didn't cuss them out, but I fussed them out. And they send a person out or whatever. But the movie kept stopping, and I got so frustrated. I was just getting so frustrated, and every time it would stop, baby would just say, pause it. And I'd be like, okay. And then it would stop again. And he'd be like, did you pause it? And I'd be like, no, I didn't pause it. It stopped on its own. He'd be like, okay, so just pause it for a few minutes. Let it, buffer or whatever. Every single time. And he was just so freaking calm. And I was like, how are you so calm right now? Like, how are you so patient? And I was like, have you always been patient? He was like, no. But that is something that he worked on within himself, and I'm still working on. I don't have that patience, but it's a nice balancing act. It's taking and looking at yourself and realizing, what you have. I used to have a thorn in my side. Like, every time this situation would come up, I would allow it to agitate me, make me angry. I would call my family and talk to them about it. I would be so upset about this whole situation. And I realized that, I can't keep letting this outside source affect my emotions, how I feel. So I got to let it go. It's time, just let it go. And that was like my New Year's resolution. That was my thing for this year, that I was not taking it into 2017. And I didn't. I can honestly say, when that situation comes up, it's just like, whatever. It's just like, meh. And I don't allow it to affect me, because it was becoming very upsetting to me every single time, and it would just affect my mood. It was my thorn in my side, and I said, I don't want that to be. I don't want any outside source to be able to do that to me. So, this whole process is still looking at myself and realizing, that was just last year. So looking at things and realizing what I need to do, pay attention to what people will say to me. Or, like, I was at work, and it was an x-ray. Now, that's just not my forte. So I said something like, their back or something, and the doc was like, that's their neck. Like, you always putting your foot in your mouth. If you just be quiet and listen, then I would have told you that was their neck. But now I know that you don't know that that's their neck. You think it's their back. Granted, it's bones. I don't know. But the point was, the neck was so straight that it looks like the back, and that was the medical issue. But me, I ain't know. I just like, oh, look at their back. And he was like, nah, shorty, that's their neck. I was like, oh. But the thing is, he said, you just stand there and listen. Just listen, and stop putting your foot in your mouth, and you gonna be A-okay. And I was like, okay. So now I just go and I say, hey, Zach, what's that? And they just start talking. And you just start soaking it up. And if you don't know what they're talking about, you just go look it up or you ask questions. But that's just how you obtain more knowledge, and they still have that confidence in you while you're learning from them, because they love to teach. But the thing is, I am still learning about myself, and I'm learning from other people's perspective. I'm learning from my perspective. I'm learning from the kids' perspective. I'm learning from babies' perspective. I'm learning so much about myself because I choose not to let my baggage define me. I choose not to allow people to have made me think that I was this person because other people mirrored me. I'll never believe that. Never. Some of the things and the anger that people have portrayed towards me and just crazy situations I've been in, I'll never allow anyone to let me think that that's how I was viewed from society. But I think that those things were things I needed to go through. I needed to be hurt. I needed someone to push me to the edge. And honestly, I needed people to do wrong to me and me not react. And because the more wrong that was done to me and the less I reacted, showed my growth. It showed that I had established my foundation personally, mentally, and emotionally. And I was okay. That these outside sources just weren't gonna arouse me anymore. And I knew that if people walked away, that I still had my house, I still had my car, I still had my kids, I still had my job, I still had everything that I needed to do. So, well, needed from me. So, I was growing into the woman that I am today. And now I can honestly say, okay, this person that I'm sewing in, that's sewing into me, does mirror me. When you learn more, or what is it? You learn better, you do better. And that's it. So I feel like I'm now learning to choose what's best for me. And I can say I made a good choice and I'm happy. So hopefully, guys, this helps someone. I don't know. We'll see. I honestly never know. I just get on here and I ramble because I've been through a lot, and I know that there's so many people out there who are going through what I've gone through or what I'm going through right now, and it's my duty to share. Honestly, it's my duty to let someone know that, hey, you across the world, you're going to be okay. If someone's disrespecting you, dishonoring you, calling you bad name, hey, I am a woman. I have 2 children by 2 different men. I was a teenage mother. I'm an African-American female. Name a statistic and I'm it. But at the end of the day, those are not what define me. I get to define me. And no one else around me gets to define me either. And that's the message here today. So thanks, guys, for watching. And until next time. Bye.